Her head rested on the table, her gaze shifting outside the window as Stephen whispered secrets to the tree. The cloud is skies to manner her mood. A dad echoed the sadness in her heart. The lake sparked in the distance, its calm beauty a stark contrast to the confusing. Her eyes are dreamed and tight, betrayed the depth of her mission. Dark circles like delicate added a haunting beauty to her face, but it was a deep written with soul. For her, she was in love with the man who didn't return her affection. He was her savior, the man who had rescued her and taken the moment of salvation. She had lost her heart to him at last. Her love remained required, leaving her within a hollow ache. The days are not by at a glacial pace, each one at eternity without him by her side. She waited for her heavy heart with flowing her every walking, too consumed by the memory of him of week as part since he had left. She found herself wandering the every rose of her apartment, searching for a glimpse of him, a reminder of his presence, but he was nowhere to be found, and the loneliness was suffocating. As he was triggered by her exciting where was he, okay, would he ever come back to her? Her heart and soul were craving for him. He was stuck in her white. He was tall, broad shoulders, dark black hair. She was following his dark area. They were sat here as he yelled. Was crazy. Everyone could fall in love with him easily. He was something which everyone dreamt of. He was not easy to get. He was from the dark world. And Devi was so heartless like his heart. He saved her from good murders and gave her a place to live in. The day was so crazy as she saw him and met him. She was running from her good tempers. Flashback. She she ran down the street, her breath coming in raised to gaps, her tempers so closing in their footsteps pounding the pavement behind her. She has managed to break free, but she knew she had to keep running if she wanted to stay alive. As she brought her, she saw a glimpse of her. She collided with the man. She tried to push him, but he caught her and his grip like a vice. Their eyes met for a moment. I froze. Her weird eyes were his cold and leave me, who are you? Are you new here? He was asking us, you ever got in that area? Please leave me. I don't have time. They will catch me. If don't, who? Millsman. They wanted. His tears were falling as she was trying to free herself. His voice became more. And then he left her and where those men arrived. They grabbed her as she was on the floor. You need a lesson. They walked at her. She was begging them to stop. Young was watching them. She was wearing a black shirt and blue jeans. Her long hair was open and she was looking so helpless. Ryan was looking at Jacob for her, but he didn't do anything. They closed the door of the car, but Cyril, give that girl to me. He said quietly. They looked at me. Why? Don't interfere our business. I want her. Give it to me. Give her to me. Who are you? I'm Joy. They hospital as they noted. Okay, boss. They opened the car and she came on. She stood beside him and those men sat down in the car and drove off and wiped her tears and started walking. She started following him. He was walking on the main road. There was a small distance between them. His head was covered and his hand was in the pocket of his hoodie. Her feet started hurting. He was barefoot. She stopped and sat down, but he didn't stop. She looked at him and she was whispering a song. Hey, she called him. Hey, listen, wait for me. He stopped and looked at her, but why are you following me? I have no one here. So help me. Go to your place. I'm not from this city. She grabbed his hand and he looked at her. You seem to be a good man. Please help me. He stared at her eyes and then his selfless act of kindness has awakened a deep affection within her. She soon discovered that he had a history of his anger in distress, and this knowledge only added to her admiration of him. He provided for her every need, every cozy apartment, and gave her everything. The days turned into a victory. He disappeared after a fortnight, only to vanish once more. The patron left her feeling for her. He felt her love growing more profound with each passing second. She found herself wandering the streets. Then one day he returned to her and they'd be together again. While thinking about me, she slept as the cold wind was touching her face and giving reaction to her soul. She was writing a word for him to give him on his birthday, but she didn't know when his birthday was. He was looking much old man, even though he stepped into the room beside him, immediately turned to her peaceful form, slumped over the bed table in a deep sleep. A hint of a slump smile touched his face as he noticed the window open, a gentle breeze resting at air. He quickly closed the window, ensuring she wouldn't catch a chill. As he gazed at her, he couldn't help. He carefully lifted her into his arm, her body limp with exhaustion. She didn't stare, even as he laid her on the bed. It was clear she had been waiting for him, her body warm up from the lack of sleep. He gently put the blanket over her, ensuring she was comfortable as he sat down beside her. Why he felt so drawn to her. While sitting beside her, he didn't know when he also. As she opened her eyes, he was met with a sigh that took her breath away. He was sitting in the chair beside her, his eyes closed with a slumber. She rubbed her eyes, wondering if she was dreaming. But she looked again. He was still there, as far as spared across her face as she felt a surge of happiness. She leaned back to him, her face just forming. She looked into his eyes, resting with excitement. I was just making sure you were here. She slumped. Are you serious? You started making about me. That's why you thought I'd have to do. Yes, he laughed because he quit his hand joke. He got up and she was still in bed. No, I can wait for you. He was about to, but she grabbed his hand. Can I come with you? He looked at her for a minute and okay, she smiled and they walked out. They stood together. The breeze carried the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the chill of the air was tempered by the warmth of their companionship. Her heart swelled with joy, grateful that he had taken her out of the lovely day. But as they walked, he turned to her, and the scattered instant she noted it. Maybe weekly excited Miss Sanders combined one was movies and tidy. Sleep is most important than movies. He continued his words soothing love to her soul. As they sat together, swearing their breakfast, the atmosphere was filled with a comfortable silence. He wasn't much of a talker, but she loved to talk with him, sharing her thoughts and feelings. As they finished their meal, he stood up. She followed. So are you going now? He nodded with a mix of emotion. She felt a pang of pain. What is it, Brian? He asked his wife gently. She hesitated, her eyes looked onto his. She struggled to find the courage to confess of him, but instant she asked, when will you come back? I was a very Baba's whisper. I don't know when I get time. Maybe she nodded. Will miss you. Yeah, I'll miss you too. But her legs were rooted to his face. He watched her. He disappeared from me, filling her heart ache with a deep sadness. She sank onto the bed, the silence of the room closing in around her like a shroud. Her gaze drifted to the frame on the bedside table, his photo staring back with a smile. Tears pricked at the corner of her eyes as she felt the familiar ache of loneliness. She was studying as she acknowledged the depth of her feelings. She knew that he didn't return them. She could sense a subtle distance in the eyes. However, he looked at her if he had built a wall around himself, a wall she couldn't breach no matter how hard. She laid down on the bed and turned her face and looked at herself in the mirror. He was as she had asked because she smiled with memory sweet as he said that she was kissed by the moon. The dusk quicker suit her, she grabbed the book and opened it and wrote his words. After a month of solitude in the apartment, she finally decided to venture out into the world. As she walked towards the main road, she noticed a commotion up ahead. A celebrity was scheduled to appear, and the area was teeming with excited fans. She joined the crowd, swept up in the infectious energy of the moment. Airplanes and overwhelmed as she thought that she was going to be trampled. A strong hand grabbed her arm and pulled her to safety. As she looked up at the rescuer, he asked, "Are you okay?" She nodded, still dazed and gazed down at their hands, which was it collided with each other. Kaiso smiled grew wider as he introduced himself, his eyes blinking at the corners. "I have never seen you around here before," he said, his tone friendly and curious. "You pointed to a nearby restaurant. I work there. I know most of the people around here." He nodded, taking his new information. "I'm on my break. It would be nice to have some company." She hesitated in the night because she thought that it was the first time to make brief new friends, but no, she was about to go. "But I'm not a bad bad. Don't afraid of me. I understand, but I don't want to go." She entered the room and sat down on the bed. It had been a while since she met anyone except him. It was difficult for her to communicate. She took off her hoodie and lay down on the bed while thinking about him. She woke up to a beautiful sight, the warm sunshine streaming through the window, illuminating the room with a bright, cheerful light. It was a rare sight in this city when rain seemed to be norm. She sat up, Surprised and delighted by the sudden change in weather, she gazed out the window. She couldn't help but smile. Kaiso smiled and waved. She returned the gesture, trying to play it cool. But as soon as he looked away, she quickly closed the window, feeling a mix of embarrassment. After that, she did her morning routine. She wrote a few pages of her book whom she wanted to gift him on his birthday. She opened her eyes and she was in her mother's house. She looked at the house with fear and got up. She called her mother. She said words were not coming out straight. Where are you? She started walking. Her short was dry. She was so scared. She was walking in the hallway, but suddenly, don't punish me. Her uncle started walking towards her. Her legs started trembling and she didn't have the stamina to run. She wanted to run because of fear. She froze there. He came in front of her and stared at her with his blue eyes. He was a middle-aged man. He smiled and grabbed her arm. Her tears started falling as she knew that what he would do next. She opened her eyes and her throat was dry and sweat all over her forehead. She sat and wiped the tears which were gone in the of her eyes. Her body started trembling. I don't want to go back. She was shivering. I'm tired of everything. The tears started falling. Her heartbeat was so fast. Sanku, come back. I need you. Why stop it? Uncle Owen is not here. No one is here who used to hurt you. I don't want to feel that again, she said while looking at her trembling hands. No, I don't want to feel that again. Her heart was throbbing. She sat down and turned on the lights. The next day she was still there. She didn't sleep. Her body and eyes were tired. Her eyes were closing, but because of fear, she just couldn't sleep. She lay down and didn't know when fell asleep. After 2 hours, she entered and looked at her. She's sleeping. I came out to check if she's okay or not. He literally kissed by the moon. He smiled and he got up. She needs clothes. She closed it and came into the room. He checked her books and but didn't see that book. She was waiting for him. She placed that correctly and put the chocolates in it. She opened her eyes and sat down as she felt his presence. She looked up the table and saw the chocolate. She immediately grabbed it. Did he come? She got up and looked outside and she saw his car disappearing. She ran out while calling him. She came out and saw his car disappear. Tears welled up in her eyes. She started sobbing. She looked at the place where there was no one. Sanku, please come back. Why did I sleep? Her eyes. Her tears started falling. I'm tired of living alone. I want you. She was talking to herself. She was so in love with him. She started to look obsessed with him. She came back and sat down on the chair while crying. She wanted him to come back. Suddenly she fell in love with him. She grabbed the chocolate and ate it, and again later she stopped eating and became a very skinny girl. She just cried. The next day, her eyes opened wide. She sat down and saw his guards putting the groceries on the shelf. So to disturb you, but God, boss ordered us to give you this. Eric, he looked at her. Tell him that I want to meet him. I will die if it doesn't come. What? Yes. She had been engrossed in the movie, but suddenly Kaiso's face popped into her mind. She couldn't shake off the feeling. She let her aside her feeling sudden restlessness and grabbed her coat and walked out. As she stood outside the cafe where Kaiso worked, she watched as he cleaned the floor. His movement efficient and focused. When he looked up and caught her eyes, she smiled, feeling a sense of nervousness. Kaiso's face lighted up with a warm smile as he put aside the broom and walked out to meet her. As they strolled through the streets, Kaisos began to open up about himself, sharing stories about his job, his friends, and about his fashion. She listened instantly, finding herself drawn to his kind, gentle nature. He seemed like a genuinely good person. Kaiso, I don't know about my family. She began her voice very above her voice. Actually, I don't want to go back. I'm in love with someone. Kaiso's face changed. His eyes filled with surprise and curiosity. He didn't press her for more information. He's even trying to process her friends. He don't live here. So does he know? No, I didn't tell him, but I will tell him. He nodded. A man's heartbeat was so fast. I'm in under so much pressure. I know we only met 2 times. I shared this with you. Actually, I just wanted to lose the weight from my heart. It's okay, Vana. I understand you. You are in one side. Love, I'm happy that you have shared it with me. Now she was sitting on the bed while waiting for him. He didn't come to meet her. Does Eric tell him? I think he forgot to tell him she was talking about him. Does he care? Does he don't care? Not care for me? I don't want to be in one side love. I want him to love me. 1 week later, he was sitting while looking, was staring at the picture of someone with whom he wasn't so in love. He loved that girl so much, but he didn't know that. Jack was sitting there looking at the picture of someone. Eric entered and boss man wants to meet him. He looked at him. She was saying that she would die if he didn't come, but Eric nodded and you were telling me this now. I didn't get shut up. She must be in pain. He got up and walked out.
One came back after saying this bye to cousin. He yelling at her. She said, I'm sitting on the bed. He got up. You make friends, huh? His voice was calm. Yeah, he's a good boy. Yeah, you said something to her. What was that? He stood in front of her, was staring at her eyes. Jangu, I want to tell you something. What is it? She grabbed his hand. What is it, Vine? His heartbeat was also fast as her because he didn't want her to say bye. I love his face and she hugged him, but he broke the hug. What happened? Vine, this is not good. Why? I love you so much. I can't live without you. Vine, no. Try to understand. This is not wrong. She tried to hug him, but Vine, I love someone else. She shouted and her heart broke into pieces. I love her so much. Try to understand. I can't love you. You are a good girl, but I can't. Why? Her eyes fill with tears. Why her? Why not me? I don't know. She's so pretty. I'm beautiful. I can't take my eyes off her. Her heart shattered after hearing the words. She's beautiful for me. Don't force me because if you do this, then I will send you back. And you will never see me again. Stay as a good friend. Her eyes filled with tears. I hope you understand. Okay, I understand. Her eyes were tears were falling like diamonds. I will stop myself. I will talk about this ever. He suddenly cell phone started and he looked at the article. I have to go. Goodbye. Take care. She nodded and he walked out with a heavy heart. He stood there like a statue. Her heart was in deep pain. Her mind was not processing anything. She heard him driving off. She tried to stop her sobs, but then she burst out into tears. She sat down on the floor while crying like a baby. Her cries could easily hear outside the house. She didn't want this and accepted this. Someone knocked on the door and she opened it and Kaiso was standing there. Why are you crying? He entered and closed the door. He loves someone else, so that doesn't mean you destroy yourself. Kaiso, please, I don't want to hear this. He turned, but her tears were still falling. He forwarded, he said, and she's so beautiful. I know I'm not. She again burst into tears. He sat down on the floor. He sat down with her just to calm her down because she was in so much bad condition. She was just torturing herself because of him. She couldn't see him with another woman. 1 month later. 1 month had passed since she had shared her secret with Kaiso, and yet the memory of that moment still in her mind. She found herself sitting on a chest at swing, sucking on a lollipop and starting wistfully at the couple strolling by. Her thoughts gracefully drifted back to him, the one she loved. Like she was rowing in a road sorrow, unable to find a lifetime to cling to. The swing gently in the breeze as she sat there lost in there. She felt like a ghost hovering on her. The lollipop in her mouth and long since she lost its flavor. He grabbed her hand and they walked towards the bike. They sat down on the bike and drove off because Carson wanted her to go with him to feel good and not to feel heartbroken. As they walked through the green fields, the wind danced through her hair, sending it waving gently in the air. It was a feeling she hadn't experienced in months, but it was so beautiful. The cold air filled her lungs and she felt a sense of peace wash over her. Cousin walked away. As they walked, she felt her heart slowly healing. The pain and sadness that has weighted her down while for long slowly lifting, replaced by a sense of wonder and awe. She felt alive again, and it was a truly beautiful feeling. But he was in her mind. She couldn't forget him. Now she was standing here and casting care. What are you thinking? He asked. I want to go back. Why? Don't you like my place? It's so beautiful. I want to go back. Cousin lived here before coming to the city. Okay, she walked towards the bike and they drove back. She entered the house and those feelings again started coming in as she put the bag in the corner and jumped on the bed. She looked at the book in which she was writing, but she decided to throw it away. She was no one for him and he was her everything. She always considered it at her mistake. The next morning, she opened her eyes and someone knocked on the door. She sat down and sweated, stepping by postman to answer. But why? Today Eric was surprised because she didn't react like before. I will come tomorrow to pick you up. Okay, she blankly said and he closed the door awkwardly because he never saw her before like this. After that, she grabbed the book and started reading. It was a routine. Idea of leaving this toxic place came into her mind, but she wasn't ready. She didn't want to go meet him because she knew that he would introduce her to Dad. That she had a sign and closed her eyes. The next day, she came into the house where he lived. She was looking at it because it was her first time. Suddenly, he came and smiled. Do you like it? She immediately sat down in front of us. So I get you fine. Did you get the photos? And she nodded. Just to see you happy. Why? Oh, I am to you, Harrison. You are my friend who I wanted to help. I know you have no one. You know I have a family. I decided to go, Uncle. She entered while smiling while looked at her, looked at lost, got lost in her beauty. Silly was like a soft girl, like who had beautiful skin and hair. Her skin looked like milk, clear and crystal. She sat down with one and one felt reflection. One was looking like a skeleton beside her, and she was wearing black baggy pants and shirt with bags. Now Vine came back and sat in front of the mirror. She touched her skin and felt bad. She got up and washed her face again and came back. She grabbed the beauty products and applied them on her face. She decided not to look ugly after seeing silly. Days passed like this and she started to see a difference in herself. She became happy and trusting. She was not as pretty as her. She wanted to become like her. She thought that Silly was the most lucky girl and Vine was laying on the bed while thinking about them. She met them after and felt good and while she was laying on the bed but Eric came to pick her up. She looked outside. Vine came out of the house and cousin was standing. Eric was standing there. Eric was waiting in the car. Will you come at night? Yes, he nodded and she sat down in the car. The car was so luxurious that Kaiso was never seen there before. Yet drove off from there. She came and saw Chad standing in the kitchen. She smiled and looked at her. I ran, come here. Van started walking towards her. Look, I made this for Janko. This is looking tasty. Really, Van nodded. Who are you? Where do you call me here? Actually, I want to about you and Janko. What do you mean? She asked. I want to know your relation with him. Why did he keep you there? He's just my friend, nothing else. You don't have to worry. He told me about you a long time ago. Okay, I thought that he had a secret relationship with you. She passed a fake smile. She put that dish in front of her and taste it. After that, they talked for hours. Silly told that Janko and she had been friends with Sun too. The Viner also told her that she was going to be fiancé, which as they talked. And they came back. Silly happily approached him. He looked at Viner and smiled. He really didn't. She didn't show any emotion. They sat down at dinner. After dinner, they were talking and Vine fell asleep. She felt peace in between them. Now she was sleeping, but suddenly opened her eyes because of a bad dream. She looked around and nobody was there. She sat down what shoes were and got up. She was looking at his house and last time before going out. She knew that after this she would never come back. She was roaming around the house, but suddenly she stopped in front of roof and saw them. She came out. It was raining. Eric was standing in front of the car. He knew that she wanted to go, so he came. So he came with an umbrella. She walked towards the car and she sat in it and they drove off and she was feeling so awkward. He came out of the car while holding the umbrella. Cousin was standing there in front of someone's house while holding the parcel. He looked at her and she walked towards him. The house, her face was blank and her tears were falling. Kaiso was staring at her in front of him. What happened? I want to go back. Okay, I will go back with you. She nodded. He entered and saw her sitting in the corner. He walked towards and sat in front of her. Your tears were falling. Man, don't waste your tears. He don't love you. He doesn't love you. Forgetting his love with someone else. I will go back and never come again. I hope this one happy life together. Yeah, I will also go with you. We will buy an apartment there. I will not leave you alone. And after a week, man went to his house to tell them she was leaving. She knocked on the door and nobody opened it. She looked around. Today Eric was not there. She got scared and she felt something was wrong. She stepped back and gripped on her bag, which was about to walk out of the house. But suddenly she grabbed and threw. She was offering at her. At once, man noticed he smoked and grabbed her hand and started dragging her outside. No judge was blindfolded. They made her sit down and removed the blindfold. Silly Janko and cousin were also there, wanted to observe what was happening. Your man stood beside us, middle-aged man, and he who wants to drive us. He spoke with his cold voice. She was turned on her smile, and she looked at Janko. He was already looking at her. They added her head, and words came into her mind. She wanted him to die. What do you want, Eva? What are you doing this to her? Because she's related to you. I know she's close to your heart. Silly looked at him confused. Leave her. I'm ready to give my half to you. That person started laughing. That man started laughing. Do you think that I'm little kid? I don't know about your relationship with her. What relationship? Nothing. She's just an innocent girl. There's nothing between us. Cousin man, what were ready? What, Janko? What do you want, mommy? You have to. Well, I like silly monsters looking soft and beautiful. Shut up. Why would he save me? No, I'm no one. Janko saved one. I believe that I have been. He said while Silly said. Silly was crying. You know whom he would save too. He was already. Please, Janko, your love. Save me. He felt a pain in his heart after seeing her like that. His tears started falling as he spoke. He can take one. His voice was broken and that one swamped. No, please don't do this. I didn't feel anything because she knew that he would always choose Silly over her. They dragged her inside the home and nobody knew where she went. Leave them at their residence. He ordered one of his guards and started laughing and saying, you did this to get revenge. My father also did this. You well, yeah. I know you will do this and I get your life. You are playing with two girls. It was my mistake. I should have gone back earlier. I saved what gave me. Why did he do this? If he wants to do this one day, why did he save me? Well, I don't blame him because it was my mistake. I was no one for him from the first day. 1 week later, Van was lying by the table checking. A dead man was standing by watching. A nurse came to me and gave him report reports. He looked at him and he was a he saw he used her. He played with her. Why did he do that even though he had silly? Did he love with her? My chores are always like this. I don't know why I end up like this. Now this is my fate. Her tears started falling.